Hey, what's going on, everyone? It is Chris, and welcome back to Manic Maniac Recaps and Predictions. And we are back with the Big Brother podcast with my good friend, Gocubs711.
The one critical flaw about Bowser's inside story is that when you save, you often have to review cutscenes, and these cutscenes are unskippable. And because I am bad at the game, I often die and have to review these cutscenes.
What do these cutscenes, uh,
They're just a lot of text and story. So like
I
cool
understand.
things that are cool to see for the first time, but stuff that after that doesn't really need to be seen.
It does not
Still have to
matter.
see.
That's I think that's a pretty much a good description of all Mario and Luigi games.
Maybe if I just wasn't shit, then things would change. But
No, it's hard not to be shit at those games.
speaking of shit, let's talk about Big Brother.
Oh yeah. Welp, it was quite the week in the Big Brother household as we got a shift in the power. After
Da-da-da.
once the head of household was completed, we got James
I
being
was
the
right.
head of household. Yes, you nailed the nominations on the head. Uh, or I should say the head of household. The head. I got the nominations right though. Which was
That's
uh,
kind of cool, though.
yeah, we were on point for the most part. But James made a deal with Shelly to keep her, Clay, and John safe because John was still on the wall. And then they dropped, and James became the head of household. But James was like, you know what? I'm gonna just go right for the jugular, and he essentially went back on his word and nominated Shelly and Clay,
Yep.
which was just awesome because they're the power. They're definitely a power couple. Um,
Huge.
so it was definitely a huge move by him to do that and pull that off. And basically, a lot of this week basically consisted of like a good 70% gameplay, 30% sad crying seeds of Shelly and Clay. That's really what these episodes consisted
Yep.
of. So there wasn't a lot of details that came out of this, but we get to
Crying breakfast friends.
what?
Crying breakfast friends.
What is that?
You'll learn when you're older.
Okay. Anyways, um, so Shelly and Clay basically, and Clay is like losing his shit too. And he's like calling like James out too. He's just like, this is why no one can trust you in this game, James." And he's just like,
I
"Oh
mean,
right."
they have a point. James did go back on his word. However, it was to two really bad people. So is
Um,
it really?
and fucking think about it. Oh, how dare you, James? How dare you go back on his word? We've never went back on our word. We've stuck with the Dark Moon Alliance.
Goodbye, Luigi, Jason.
Yeah, like it's really like it's bullshit.
Yeah,
It's all
no,
like
they're full of it.
it's absolutely bullshit. So that they're delusional and they think that they are just not. They're so innocent, but they have been the ones controlling the game. At least two of them. Um, I wouldn't. I just want to rant so bad right now. I will. I will near the end.
Okay,
But
live feeds.
and then not well. Some yeah, it's gonna be the live feed
Yeah.
highlights. But I oh I cannot wait. I'm so mad at myself too. I'll wait. I'll save that. So
Okay.
anyways, we get to the power veto pick players getting picked. We have James, Shelley, and Clay, and then the other three people that get picked are Vanessa, Jackie, and Becky. So essentially what happens is that or you can go ahead, go Cubs, and explain the competition.
The veto.
Yes,
Okay. The problem is I don't remember what the veto
it was the
was.
medieval one.
The medieval veto.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, dude, you remember it?
I know the theme. I can't remember what the actual competition was. I'm sorry.
It
It's been
was
it's been a long few days.
it was the one with like they had to launch it. Whoever has the highest
Oh
number
yeah.
gets
Okay.
finished.
So there was like it was like the Game of Thrones or some Game of Throws.
Game of
There you
Thrones.
go.
Yeah.
They had a catapult and some like beans and or sandbags that were on the catapult, and they had to flip it onto this giant map similar to the Gronk beer pong, but not in cups, just places on the map, and they had numbers 1 through 50, and whoever had the lowest after the round would get eliminated, and then they'd have to like pick up the sixth place prize, and then the fifth place person would pick up the fifth place prize, and they could either switch or keep what they had. And yeah,
So the first person to get eliminated from the competition was Jackie. God damn it, Jackie. Um,
you tried.
she picked up the power of veto. I usually that now like, oh yes, you get the power of veto right away.
No,
No,
no.
that's not good at all because you could easily get it stolen away from you.
Yeah,
So
that's why it's the first one. So,
it's always it's usually
yep.
always is the sixth place prize. So power of veto for now is with Jackie. Then Shelly ends up losing, which is great.
I raised my arms up in victory.
And then she picked the uh, a knight unitard essentially, like where you have to be a knight and you have to wear like a unitard essentially. With,
Yep.
and she was like, "No, I'm taking the power of veto." So Jackie was stuck with the knight unitard for now, and
Surprise.
Shelly got the power of veto. And then the next person to drop was Vanessa, I think. Oh yes,
Yeah, it was
yeah,
Vanessa.
it was Vanessa. Vanessa drops next, and she got a trip to Ireland, and so she kept that. And the next person to drop was Clay. Again, raising of the arms, really exciting.
Yep.
And Clay got the
Took the Ireland trip.
he took the Ireland
Ireland.
trip, and then
Words are hard.
Vanessa now has to clean for 24 hours. Has to clean the armor and shield of Jackie. So she's essentially stuck to Jackie for 24 hours.
Yep.
And then Becky gets second place and grabs a $5,000 card, and then James easily. They made it seem like he was having a problem, but on the show, but no, he was taking that power of veto. He took the power of veto, and James gave Shelly a for 24 hours. Shelly has to protect the kingdom and has to do like the cycle of things for a good for 2,400 times.
So 100 times every hour.
Essentially. So that's pretty insane. Pretty insane that she had to do that. And we talked about this Gocubs. Would you say that this was tougher, or would you say the one season was tougher with
the one that Brittany had to, where she just had to kick 200 goals?
No.
2,400.
2,400
goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it involves a lot more walking. Shelley's does, but
yeah.
I mean, Brittany still had to go to the goal and get the ball.
Yeah.
And then kick it.
I think that Shelley's was tough.
Yeah, Shelley's was. They were both just huge punishments.
Just really just torture, and it was fun watching Shelly like be tortured.
Yeah.
But a lot of just drama altogether, because going into the veto ceremony or veto meeting, the veto meeting.
Yeah.
Shelly and Clay threw Austin under the bus to James. One of my favorite lines of this whole week was, so Austin has this alter ego called Judas, who Austin may keep his word, but Judas won't. And James goes, "Are you under some narcotics right now?"
Yes, that was great.
Fucking love James.
That was great.
So they just threw Austin like so deep under the bus, and it didn't really help them because the nominations remained the same for the first time this season.
Can we bring up what happened right after the veto competition?
Sure. Oh, I completely forgot to write that down. The veto I completely forgot about that. So right after the veto competition, Meg got really drunk from, I guess, like the beer that they had. Because Meg is a New Yorker, and if you live in New York City, you probably are a heavy drinker.
Good to know.
Well, because you know how stressful being in New York City is.
It's true.
I don't live there. I live on the island, but I just being around there. I don't know. I'll probably never drink, but
Yeah.
definitely the stress of it.
I don't
Fucking
know, man.
makes
I
you
go to the
want
number one party school in the country, so.
That's true. That's true. Um, but yeah, so Meg got really fucking drunk and she started really hardcore flirting with Clay, and Clay was just not like Clay was accepting it. He was not like holding back. He was just kind of
Yeah,
he
that
was
was
kind of
kind of.
doing. And then even after like all the flirting that they were doing, Clay was just kind of like, "Yeah, don't tell anyone about this." And you're like, "Oh my god, Clay, are you fucking serious?" And like Meg's like, "I can't wait to get you drunk." Apparently, like my mom, like she like Meg has now gone down a few pegs, but I was just kind of like, Meg's drunk. I can't really like unless she's actually physically hurting people. I can't really like be mad at her for doing that. But I was more mad at Clay, if anything,
Yeah,
because it was just like you have a girlfriend, a girlfriend that you've known for 50 days, but you have a
but
girlfriend.
they're still dating.
Yeah, so I don't know. I have no idea. So that was a fun one. That was an interesting little tidbit. Hashtag BB scandal. Um, so we get at so now after, this is now going back to the after the veto meeting. Austin James fills Austin in on the fact that they threw him under the bus, and Austin's just like, what the fuck. Uh, Vanessa though really wants to keep Shelly around, and James really wants to keep Clay around. Um, and that caused a conflict of interest. So Austin and the twins, so Shelly like essentially came up to them and like said like apologized for everything that she did, and it was a moment of weakness or whatever, yada yada yada. And they're like, all right, sure, we'll keep you, and it's kind of that's immediately like face palm. Um, and Vanessa had Steve on her side, so obviously Steve would vote. But then they had Jackie, Becky, and Meg, who would easily vote to keep Clay, and maybe Johnny Mac would be the swing vote because
Maybe.
he likes Clay, and he would probably want him to stick around. But a fight ensued prior to the actual eviction, and that I will explain later on, but you'll probably not see until Sunday.
All
Um,
right.
but that's kind of what led to what happened. But first, as the great Julie Chen says, Derek and Cody come back in a segment that was easily staged.
Yeah. I didn't watch much of Thursday's episode. I was trying to like just watch parts of it to right because I wanted to know what happened, but I also wanted to see the Daily Show. So
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, Derek and Cody, they kind of just came. They were like talking about the season, and they were saying how like how close they've been. Like they've talked, they would talk every day, or like they would hang out at least every once a month or so. And it was just like, oh, that's sweet. Let's get back to the people that actually exist this season.
yeah,
So the vote happens. The emotional speeches, the cheesy fucking speeches happen, and Clay is evicted 9-0. The first unanimous vote of the season is a vote that no one knew what the result was actually going to be.
I think eventually it got to a point where everyone was like, "All right, we know that." I don't know.
This is good try, Go Cubs.
We
Now,
know that Shelly's probably gonna stay. We might as well just vote Clay out.
well, that's
Try not to.
yeah. I get what you mean by
And it
that.
might also be like just satisfying like Clay's wish to get him out so that Shelly can stay in.
That is true, but I think that it was really dumb of them because Shelly was easily the stronger player, and that they could have easily swung the votes in their favor, easily swung the votes in their favor. Um, but for whatever reason, you just fucking decided not to. I think what was really frustrating throughout this entire thing just seeing the reasoning that Vanessa was giving, and they're like, "Oh, Clay doesn't want to be here, so why don't we just fulfill his wishes?" Are you fucking dumb? Like like you can't. If someone says to you, "I don't want to be here anymore," you keep them in the game. Then they become weaker. They become like they want to die so badly that they just
Yeah,
want to leave the fucking house.
you're a
But if
cruel
you
son of a bitch. You know that?
no, well listen, but that's how you play the game. You
Yeah, I know,
can't
I know, I know.
you, you can't like I don't know. I think that's the dumbest thing on the face of the planet. But I do understand why they did it because right before the eviction happened, there was a fight that started with Vanessa's paranoia, like usual. And that's what I'm about to rant about. But anyway, so
All right, go ahead.
Vanessa talks to James and she's like, "Do you have a problem with me? Because I feel like I've heard stuff from Clay that you've been doing, or I've heard stuff from Johnny Mac and Clay that you've been saying bad stuff about me and that you want to get me out." And James is just like, I never said that to them. How about you pull them in the room? And Vanessa's just like, "Oh, okay." And so James goes over to confront Clay, and Clay's just like, "Get the fuck out of here." He does not want anything to do with James. He's just like, "Get the fuck out of here." And Vanessa brings John into a bedroom and starts talking to him. But that really isn't at all entertaining because Clay and James just start yelling at each other, and then Clay gets up in his face, and then the feeds just cut right there. And then the next time, like, it took like a minute to come back though, because you see Clay laying in bed now, and John, Vanessa, and Clay or I should say, John, James, and Vanessa surrounding Clay on the bed, and they're like, "Hey, you are, you're a liar for what you said." And yada yada yada. Meanwhile, I don't think that Clay said anything. I don't think that Johnny Mac even said anything. I don't think James said anything either. I think Vanessa is just really fucking paranoid and is purposely staging this fight so that way Clay is the target to go home, and it ended up working.
Wow.
Vanessa, I regret a lot. Okay, I regret my decision to pick Vanessa to win this game. I may not. If she honestly stays in this fucking game for any longer, she probably will go to the end and win it, and I'm not gonna be happy about it. I'm not gonna be for once. I'm not gonna be happy that I'm right. For fuck's sake.
I hope I'm right.
Yeah. I know. I hope you're right too, Gocubs. That's what I'm saying. Like, Vanessa is the most manipulative son of a bitch in this game. Shelly and Clay, they're just as bad, and Shelly's a self-absorbed son of a bitch. But the thing about Vanessa is,
She's a female. She can't be a son.
shut up. Anyways, Vanessa. The thing about Vanessa though is that like she has been in everyone's ear spewing lies about everyone. She's
It's true.
insane. She's paranoid. She is saying shit like she thinks Clay is a twin, that Clay and John are gay lovers. She
Wait,
said
I didn't hear that part.
she said it after the fight happened. That like Meg and Johnny Mac are related, and like all this stupid
What?
shit. And it's like, are
What?
you kidding me? She is insane. Her gameplay is sloppy, but yet she is so good that not a lot of people are catching on to her. The only people that are catching on to her are the people that are in the underdogs. And now Johnny Mac, because of this fight, has realized, oh, Vanessa's a threat. Holy shit! Why have I not seen this before? So all these people are starting to realize it, but then she's gonna fucking save herself somehow, and she's not gonna get evicted ever because people are fucking stupid. Like, it is
Yep.
so. I really can't stand her. Like, I think that I'm jealous of the fact that she is so good at the game right now. But the thing is that she isn't. It's just that people are just dumb and not realizing, and the only people that are starting to realize it are the people that we actually like, which is good.
Well, yeah.
But are the people that we like, are they gonna really win all these competitions? I don't know. So that's my rant. I fucking hate her so much.
Maybe we shouldn't have voted Jace out the first week.
Fucking. That's probably something that she said too. Man. Yeah, James was head of household. He could have just fucking just gotten her out week one.
Well, nobody knew anything about anyone except first impressions, and if that's the case, then Jace must have just given a really bad first impression.
Oh, he absolutely did. He was a cocky
Yeah.
son of a bitch, and
Yep.
who paraded without clothes and fucking just just was a dick to everyone. So
Yep. All right. Tell us about the live feeds other than the fight.
yeah,
Is there anything else?
well, I should mention. Actually, yeah, we'll do the live feeds first. So the only thing that I can really say that I haven't really ranted about is Becky and John, have been like this underdog, like really just not really knowing where their heads at, have pretty much solidified who they're gonna play for and who their targets are going to be, especially after following the fight. Is that Becky and John definitely don't want Vanessa to be in this house for much longer. Becky has really worked the side of Jackie, Meg, and James, while John has worked the side of Shelly and Clay. Now, John's only going to have Shelly by his side, and he's also worked with Steve as well, and Steve has some weird disdain for Becky. I have no idea. But their target is Vanessa, and it's going to be interesting to see if Becky and John can actually pull out a lot of interesting shit, like a lot,
I would love to see that.
like out of nowhere they start playing this game. And I think it'll be a lot of fun. All right, so let's do predictions, and then I have a few other things that I would like to point out.
Okay.
So, would you like to start?
I will start. So the HOH was another endurance competition. Fun, fun, fun. Uh,
Wait.
and did they learn from last season when like Caleb almost like destroyed his feet?
Big Brother doesn't care about pain.
Okay.
So
Anyways, my nominations. Jackie's gonna win the HOH.
yes.
She's gonna put up Steve and Vanessa.
Uh,
Steve's
Wait, hold on.
what?
So Steve
Okay.
and Vanessa. Okay.
Steve's gonna win the veto somehow using the word trombone.
All right. That's very specific, but okay.
And Jackie puts up Austin, and Austin goes home.
Oh, okay.
No,
So,
Judas goes home, and Austin gets to stay.
and right, exactly. So Austin is the one that actually gets the bullet this week.
Yes,
So, based on my rant, you can already guess
we're very
why.
hopeful.
Oh yes, we
We're
are.
very hopeful people.
We're usually hopeful when it comes to these predictions. If we went 3 weeks, like 4 weeks, we were predicting that Audrey would be the one to get evicted.
It's true.
So,
We were right.
and
One week.
we were right for 1 week, right? So a little bit of a surprise here. I say that John ends up winning the head of household. Someone within that group would win the head of household, but I'll say John. And then he ends up nominating Shelly and Meg. And then John will end up winning the veto too because he is comp beast. Then he will use the veto on Meg, put up Vanessa, and Vanessa is the one that goes home.
All right.
Because they have the votes. They have the votes, or at least I would think, to get rid of Vanessa. But we'll have to see what happens. Alright. So a few things to note. That everyone who's left has made the jury. That's a big deal. And there may or may not be a returning house guest. That was kind of hinted by Julie Chen. And then,
No, there's going to be a returning house guest. Like that was
it was pretty
blatantly obvious.
Yeah, but what kind of confused me about that though was that you would think that the twin twist would have replaced that, right?
I don't know,
Like,
dude.
who knows what the fuck?
She already said that you're not out of the game. They're gonna bring someone back.
Probably. Who knows? This was a. Maybe they'll have like 3 double evictions or something, or maybe there's an extra week since it goes to September 23rd. So yeah, they'll probably bring someone back.
They're bringing someone back, dude.
And then I can't wait. It is double eviction time in the Big Brother house.
This is true.
It is this Thursday. we're gonna be doing the double eviction, and it's gonna be so much fun.
Tense.
It's gonna be so intense. You're not gonna be able to watch it on time, probably.
Nope.
But that double eviction is my favorite time of year with Big Brother because I get to freak out in the living room and spaz on the ground, praying that fucking someone that deserves to go home goes home, and the person that deserves to get head of household gets head of household. So, yeah, good times, good times.
Yep.
Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching today's awesome recap
I love your
podcast.
faces.
Yeah, I
Except
love
yours, Tim.
God damn it, Tim.
You know who you are, Tim.
I loved your ears if you were just listening to this podcast. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much it for today's episode. And
Yep.
we will be back next week. On
Around the same time.
Yeah, we're probably gonna be moving the podcast to Sundays with the new schedule. So it'll probably be Friday. We'll probably film either Friday or Saturday, and then have it be put up on the Sunday. So we can have a little extra time to make this podcast go out. So it'll work out. So, anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
Goodbye.
Bet.